Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is for educational purpose only. This is all my thoughts, my theories, my speculations, and nothing else. Today I'd like to go back and visit the post Stacey Wells Chapin, Ethan's mother, put out in the beginning. She said, "We've spent the last 8 weeks, besides the obvious, focus on Maisie and Hunter. Bless y'all. Cards, talks, walks, hikes, tears, you name it. May Ethan rest in peace." Yesterday, we successfully dropped them off back at the University of Idaho. I found that to be very interesting. They must be a tough family. I couldn't have taken my son back and my daughter to a place where they lost their brother for whatever reason. But I guess everyone's entitled to do what they please. Hunter was very glad to be back at the fraternity, and Maisie was warming up to the idea. But it was so good to hear all the girls squeal with delight upon seeing her. It did this mama's heart good to hear it. The support from the University of Idaho and Moscow Police Department and ISP has been profound. Maisie and Hunter are rock stars, and we couldn't be more proud of them. Their job now is just to be kids, start where they left off, keep goals and aspirations in mind. For an update, anything Ethan, had is now frozen with the defense. For us, it involves 2 vehicles, his belongings, and a nice set of golf clubs. That's important. So, Ethan is 2 vehicles. I believe one is his red Jeep and one is his sister Maisie's white car, allegedly. And a set of golf clubs are under evidence. So today we're talking a bit about the evidence. We've met with the prosecutors, handled media inquiries, hopefully respectfully, managed grief talk, that's counselling, and continue to try and process our new normal. However, nothing has changed. We spend no time being angry. That would be energy not well spent. And it still wouldn't change the outcome. We have to look ahead. What we've confirmed, Ethan is who he was because of a family. His foundation was unwavering. He was so loved and he didn't know any different. I really believe that. Ethan had a smile of an angel, in my opinion. He looked like a popular boy. Xana looked like a popular girl. And I think it was rubbing the frats and the sororities the wrong way. However, nothing has changed. What we've confirmed, Ethan is who he is because of a family. His foundation was unwavering. He was so loved and he didn't know any different. He was profoundly supported, and a family of 5 was different than others and so very special. He loved unconditionally. He was loyal to all. He was inclusive, carefree, happy, just the best person you could ever meet. I really believe that. I really believe that. May you rest in peace, Ethan, and may the correct justice be found. May we keep on exposing evil and get to the bottom of the truth, in my opinion. The stories are endless and amazing. He touched lives we have no idea existed. He was incredible. I believe that. Ethan and Xana's timeline is the most confusing thing. That was where all my focus was, and that's how I bumped into the frats. They deserve justice. I came across an old clip from Banfield. Not everyone watches Banfield, but she was putting out a lot of information in the beginning, which I appreciate. This was where Maddie's black coat was found. I showed you a clip recently that there were many people hiding in the bushes. But I apologize, I have to redo that clip because I thought I was making circles on the figures and apparently it did not work the way I wanted to. Just pay attention to this. I've had this clip since the beginning, and it always baffled me. Instead of bagging the evidence, they threw back in the bushes. Some people said that they came back. They were going to bag it, but we didn't see that. No matter what, you just don't throw back evidence. Even if you're coming back for it, this is evidence. The whole crime scene was already taken by these students. Who put off Kaylee's LinkedIn account 13 hours after 911 was called? Somebody had access to it, according to her sister. So these are the two theories I wanted to discuss. Three, actually. Kaylee's LinkedIn account that was logged out of. Do you all know that you can send a lot of money, thousands, in fact, $500,000 through LinkedIn? Was this some kind of money laundering, is my question. What was actually going on?
Because honestly, Brian, if you are following this case, especially online, so many people have said this was such a brutal stabbing murder, so gangland style, that perhaps there was some kind of drug activity or drug connection, and you got a definitive answer on that today.
Yeah, I asked the prosecutor about that, and he said to his knowledge, drugs are not involved. I tried to ask him, you and I were on the phone last night going over all these theories for hours, and I tried to get to almost all of them. He said, I asked him about whether or not inside the house the killer left any messages, anything on the walls. He said no, not to his knowledge, but the drugs was a big one. He addressed that. Listen to what he told me. Could drugs be involved in all of this?
I have not heard that there's any suspicion that drugs played a role in the killings.
So, in all of this?
I have not heard that there's any suspicion that drugs played a role in the killings.
So not like a drug deal gone bad or something like that?
I am not aware of anything like that, no.
And that's obviously
So,
important,
Brian.
Ashley, because if you look online... Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. Yeah?
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's a big one because there's all sorts of theories online that there may have been drugs involved, but he said right there, no, that's not the case.
Which it leaves us even more confounded because, again, with that violent style of murder, angry, almost retributive, it's now leaving us to all the other possibilities of why someone might not have done that if it weren't to avenge a drug deal or a drug turf or something like that. So the other question I had when we saw those cars being towed, and I don't know if we can roll some of that video, I was curious about it being day 16. I would have thought that those vehicles might have actually had some clues in their inner mechanisms. The GPS locator sometimes can tell you where cars have been, where cars have driven. But 16 days later, they could not have processed that on the scene, and now here they are towing them away. And also, they're towing them away in an unusual way. You can see that the front wheels are on another set of wheels. I don't know if you know whether that's to stop the jostling of the evidence that might still be in the vehicle. Did they say anything about that?
They had a couple of different tow trucks out there. I don't think they towed them all that way, so I don't know that's the reason. But we asked police why today, and basically they just said it was now time to move them to a secure facility where they would do further crime scene processing of the cars. I got to tell you, overall, the feeling I got today after these interviews with police and the prosecutor is if there's no person of interest and I mean, they're making some progress, but it seems like now they're going back and really examining some of these other items, including the cars.
Okay, now let's take our thoughts back to the post Ethan's mother put up. Why did they take his vehicles as evidence? Why not Kaylee's? Kaylee's was returned. So could the assaults on Livings have started in Ethan's vehicle? Is that possible? If you remember Chaos Sector, shout out to them. Analyze the clip from Linda Lane a year and a half ago. They did an excellent clip. And in that analyzation, it sounded like somebody was being pushed or slammed on a vehicle, if you remember that. I wonder if these suspects pulled Xana and Ethan out of the vehicle and started slamming them. Trigger warning. Why was the other vehicles returned? Do you see that White House down below, straight down? I showed you all in my other clips. That is where there was a DoorDash camera. That's how they saw the white vehicle, Hyundai Elantra, allegedly. So that camera would have caught many other things. These frats running around, they were hiding in the bushes. This all needs to come to the light. What about Ethan's golf set? Did they use that to assault him? Or maybe to carve his legs? Trigger warning. That information came from Dateline. That has caused the whole case to go into a carnage. Why would they do that? Why would they bring out evidence that is not even evidence? Why are all these people out for Brian Christopher Koberg when there are people hiding in the bushes? Why are they out for BK when I find it strange that Brent Kopacker was taken down by the SWAT team after 8 hours? It was said allegedly he was threatening his roommates. We all know how difficult, especially Americans know how difficult it is for the SWAT team to come in. That was on the 14th of December. 14th? It started on the 14th of December, and they unalived Brent Kopacker on the 15th. I'm going to make a clip for Brent Kopacker because I am really heartbroken by the way he was treated. As a licensed mental health counselor, they could easily see the man was in a poor mental health state. And they didn't call for a psychiatrist evaluation. That was sad. That is a man who was a Purple Heart soldier. And that was the time he needed the police, the mental health team to help him. And he didn't receive that help. I'll come to Brent Kopacker later. I want to know, why was Ethan's car put in as evidence? Was he beaten inside his car? I believe the assault and fight started outside and it ended inside 1122 Kings Road. Why was the front door left open? And finally, who was driving this white truck that night? This white truck was a busy bee. We saw it driving towards the Corner Club, and we saw it parked at Kings Road. David Lodge has a white truck, and Jack D has a white truck. Please like, share, and subscribe. May the correct justice be served for the 4 victims and BK, if he's innocent. If he's guilty, then may Lord help you.